We apologize again to all those who have bitten the traffic of the midday traffic of the city and have reached our venue. This is a heritage building at the traditional business hub of Kolkata. So we are now commencing the 13th edition of our annual Business IT Conclave. And as we formally commence the proceedings, we will start with a brief video of our gold sponsor, Mindtree.
The future can feel far away, just out of reach, like an enigma. And businesses strive to keep up, to be in alignment with the present. But in today's world, the present is already behind us. And what lies ahead is already here. At Mindtree, we turn long-term goals into short-term goals, speed into agility, disruptive growth into competitive differentiation, professionals into thought leaders, clients into teammates, and stagnancy into dynamism. Our company culture cultivates an environment where everyone can excel. Anchored by purpose, we value curiosity and learning. With sustainability, diversity, and philanthropic endeavors as driving forces, Mindtree ensures the future is within reach, and delivering ambitious results are at the core. By understanding your business's needs and challenges, and providing solutions that unlock value, efficiency, and innovation. When the world as a whole throws us unprecedented change, we embrace it, navigate it, and thrive on it. And get businesses to the future faster.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, as we are setting up our new trends in the new normal, this program is presented to you in digital mode. As you are here today and this program is being presented at this venue, this program is being simultaneously streamed in the digital media, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. So with this, we will commence the opening session now. I will request Mr. S. Radhakrishnan, former President of the Bengal Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Lieutenant General Dr. S.P. Kochar, Director General, Cellular Operators Association of India, COAI, and Mr. Chiranjeev Bhattacharya, Co-Chairperson, IT Committee, the Bengal Chamber of Commerce and Industry, to please join us on the dais. The Chairperson of the Committee and the Vice President of the Bengal Chamber, Mr. Arnab Basu, will join us shortly. We would now request Mr. S. Radhakrishnan, Lieutenant General Dr. S.P. Kochar, and Mr. Chiranjeev Bhattacharya to please join us on the dais. Online, we'll have Ms. Pramila Kalive, Chief Operating Officer, Zenset Technologies Limited, who is joining us from Pune. Sirs, may we...
It also says that employment of 82,300 people has been created by these companies in this index. The Chamber believes to be a relevant and meaningful partner of the industry, and also the government organizing the discussion forums like this on latest trends in technology has been our constant focus. This year, the conclave will also feature discussions on 5G, cloud transition, metaverse, digital currency, globalization 4.0, and cybersecurity. The members of the IT committee, who represents the leading IT companies, user industries, academia, government, consultants, have put their minds together to advise on the content so that the forum becomes an enriching experience for us all. It's a refreshing change after 2 years of pandemic, of coming together to engage and interact, and who knows that this may become a genesis of some possible collaborations by dialogues originating here. We are happy that some of our speakers have traveled from different parts of the country. We welcome them to our city of joy. We have a global speakers also joining digitally on day 2. We believe Bengal has a great potential of becoming a preferred destination for technology businesses with its infrastructure, talent pool, and promising startups. The Bengal Chamber is always happy to connect the interested players with the ecosystem here. We wish you a great afternoon and evening with the brainstorming ideas, meaningful conversations, and more importantly, an enjoyable time, which will be, I'm sure, will be memorable to all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. May we now request Lieutenant General Dr. S.P. Kochar, Director General of Cellular Operators Association of India, COAI, to make his special address on prospects of 5G in India.
A very good evening to all the dignitaries, both on the dais and off the dais. It is indeed a pleasure to be addressing all of you and to be back in the city of joy after many years. I am extremely delighted that I've been asked to speak on the prospects of 5G in India. And I see a lot of experts, Professor Ganti, etc., sitting here who are better equipped to speak about this. So I will restrict myself to the application and the business sense of what 5G would mean to India as I see it personally. To start with, let's understand what 5G brings, which is different than what has been happening so far. In the telecom world, the metamorphosis of change came with the mobile 25 years earlier. Then came the smartphone, and coupled with that came 2G, 3G, 4G, each an upgrade of the other. 5G is a different technology altogether. And like there was a change from the landline to mobility 25 years earlier, we are going to see, as I believe, a metamorphical change again. And this is only the threshold and the beginning of a new era of telecom, which is getting ushered. This is going to be all-inclusive as it has never been before. This is the first time machines will be talking to machines, machines will be talking and interacting with humans. Sensors will become part of the network, humans will become part of the network, machines will become part of the network. What it means to the business community is that up to 4G, it was technology that led business. Technology got led, network got installed, and they had fixed parameters, almost fixed parameters, and the businesses exploited those parameters to increase their productivity, to increase their efficiency. But it was limited by technology. Now with 5G coming in, the roles have reversed. It is the businesses who will lead, they will dictate, they will tell the telecom guys or the network guys, listen, this is our business plan, we want a solution to this. And that is what the telecom people will be able to provide because of the flexibility and adaptability of what 5G offers. What are the characteristics which stand out very clearly, which are not there earlier, are available in 5G, and I would name two of them, which are the building blocks and which will become permutations and combinations for various solutions. One of them is network slicing, the other one is edge computing, and many more, of course, will be brought out by other eminent speakers later. That is as far as the backdrop is concerned for 5G. I'm not going to talk more on 5G. I'm not going to become technical. So I'm going to talk now what are the segments that we see emerging. Clearly, there are two segments who will consume 5G services. One is the consumer segment, you and me, for our personal use. Second is the enterprise segment. I firmly believe that in the consumer segment, there will be only a very small segment who will actually pay extra to consume 5G. Why should I pay extra? Why should I buy a new phone to get a 5G connection? Isn't a properly configured 4G adequate for me, for my needs? How does it matter to me whether the movie downloads in or it downloads in 10 seconds? Doesn't really matter. Why should I pay extra for that? That will be the thinking. And India is a price sensitive market. Consumers are extremely price sensitive. Right? They will convert to 5G only if the tariffs are favorable or continue to be what they are today. Now that is a tall order for telcos, because of the environment which is prevailing, which is being created. The telcos' capital investments are going to be huge, and they need to be recovered. And therefore, either the rollouts will slow down to areas where adoption is faster, or the tariffs will go up. Either case is not good for the consumer industry, and there will be very little incremental revenues from consumer business in 5G, as I feel. But this is not the same for enterprise business. Enterprise business is what will drive 5G. In the beginning, I said machines will talk to machines, machines will talk to humans. See what is going to change. Everything, the way we live, the way we behave, the way we conduct businesses is set to change. And fortunately, Industry 4.0 is coming in at the same time. Therefore, 5G ties in very well. And that is where the maximum amount of business will be in the enterprise business. And this is what has been seen by the industry captains. And that is why you see a clamor for enterprise business all over India. It is not that 4G could not deliver what people are saying only 5G can deliver. It could. It is not that Wi-Fi can't deliver the same thing what they're asking 5G to deliver as of now. It can. But they're looking at 5G because they know that the pie of enterprise business is going to keep increasing, and it is going to, the magnitude of increase is going to enhance with every passing year, especially in a country like India. So these are the segments that I can talk about. Then, now, how are you as professionals going to get affected? I think I will divide the consumption of 5G and its opportunities and perspectives in certain heads. And these are purely my own heads. I'm not taking it from anywhere. So take it or leave it, whichever way you like. The first head is facilitators. There will be business enhancements among facilitators. And what do I include as facilitators? The infra people are going to increase. They're going to mushroom. We are short of towers, we are short of fiber as it is, even today. With 5G coming in, this demand is going to increase. So infrastructure providing companies, infrastructure providing professionals, including in-building solutions, are going to proliferate. Equipment manufacturers will take a fillip. People say that exit of China has harmed us. It has not harmed us. You see what has happened? Fortunately, India works on standards. And because of standards, any equipment manufactured in any part of the world can fit into our networks as per the equipment profile. Only difference is equipment coming in from the West is expensive because the cost of production there is higher. The production lines are not geared up to meet a market as big as India. Now, see that part. See, China has exited. India has to grow. What will happen? This vacuum will get filled up, and the government of India is making a lot of effort. The PLI scheme that is attracting people to set up base in India. What they can't get in the Western manufacturing units, they can get in India, cheap labor. Single window concept, good concept, hasn't really taken up, but it is now again being relooked, and the government is quite serious about it, and things are falling in place. Ease of doing business is actually falling in place in the telecom sector. And therefore, we will see over a period of years, a lot of manufacturing units shifting base to start working in India, start manufacturing in India as per the international standards. And then not only consume the products in India, but also start exporting to the rest of the world and take up the market which possibly may get vacated by China. So this is a scenario which will happen. Till that happens, yes, our network rollouts will slow down. Our cost of rolling out networks will increase, but that is a temporary phase. I see this as a big opportunity. Handset resellers, with 5G coming in, mobile handset resellers, the small businesses, MSMEs, will flourish. They will have to set up bases in rural areas. They will have to set up bases in urban areas, and that they will have to set up small businesses which can then get aggregated. Startups and incubation, this will be flavor of the next decade. This is something that is going to happen. Sensors, drones, what have you, they will all come in, and they will be facilitated by 5G. And it will be a mutual facilitation. System integrators. The system integration is going to be big business again. The government of India has announced private networks. But when private networks are being set up, we don't expect verticals which have nothing to do with IT or telecom to set up their own networks. They will rely on system integrators. And this business is going to increase. And we will see, as per my personal view, we will see big fish coming into this market. And it is this system integration which will now see a new avatar. And this will not only include private networks, it will also include in-building solutions. In Indian cities, Indian towns are going vertical. They are no longer expanding horizontally. So therefore, in-building solutions are essential. And they are now getting incorporated into building codes, along the national highway codes. So therefore, this is a segment that is worth looking into. Data centers, everything is data based. So data has to be stored somewhere. Again, huge business, capital intensive, but huge business. And this is where we will find a lot of interest by people with deep pockets. The second segment, which I classify, are the exploiters, the applications which will run on the 5G network. The first that comes to my mind is skilling and education. The employment pattern is going to change. Most of the things, most of the areas where employment is there today in the telecom field, in the ICT field, will get automated. And we will see the base increasingly going higher and knowledge-based professionals coming into the market. But we require skilling as well as education to come to the fore, and that is where entrepreneurs, educational institutions, government institutions will come to the fore. We will find a new version of skilling and education which will merge with each other, and which will be country-based. Why I'm saying country-based is because Indian environment is very different from the American environment, and many people who have tied up with American universities and skilling institutions have fallen flat, because that environment and our environment is totally different. And we have to create an Indian model and not work on an Australian model or a British model. This is something that will interest many of the MSMEs who may be sitting here. On my list is artificial intelligence, analytics, all data sciences based applications. This is where I'm saying education, practical outcome based education which will be required. And this is where IITs have started taking initiative. They have started training people in practical skills rather than only knowledge. It has to be knowledge based, which results into outcomes. Okay, skills just for the sake of artisan skills is not going to be the flavor. It is going to be knowledge-based skill, and that is where IITs have taken initiative. More initiatives will be required. Sensors. Any industry worth its name today will use sensors. Take agriculture, medical, education, everybody talks of that. Take any other manufacturing unit. All of them will incorporate sensors to improve their efficiencies, to improve their what should I say, efficiencies and production capabilities. So these are applications which will increasingly get latched on to the networks and will have a lot of opportunities. This will include both air-based, like drones, flights, as well as ground-based, like weapon systems, smart cities, waterworks, name it, and it will be there. So this is where startups will also come in. Sensor-based applications, sensor-based products will be required in huge amount of numbers. Trust applications. Now, if millions of sensors, humans, machines are on a network, we not only require security, we also require trust. And that is where we will see the rise of blockchain once again. It is a very good technology which has not delivered as per the promises which were made about a decade ago. But now again, we will see that blockchain will be used for trust-based applications. I have to hurry up because I've been given 15 minutes, but each one of them is a topic by itself. We can discuss offline. Yeah, simulations. Now, most of the things today we do on physical platforms. Digital highways will take over physical highways. And we will find simulation will again be in demand. And this is where edge computing and network slicing will help. This will help to a very, very large extent. And I would make a very categorical statement that all industry verticals, depending on data, low latency sensors and computing, will form part of 5G networks. Will, not may. Without that, their survival in business will be very difficult. Data analytics, all of you are leaders here, sitting here. In your own right, as CEOs, CXOs, you will require not data, but you will require data analytics. This is a field which is going to grow exponentially, and we don't have too many people in data analytics today. The last section which I've classified the topic is in protectors. I call it protectors. And here we will find the requirement of cybersecurity. Cybersecurity experts will be mushrooming. And as we go along, and when I'm saying protectors, these are also attackers, because you will protect against only attacks. So these are challenges. Cyber will always be a challenge. Unless cyber is organic, and unless cyber grows from the grassroots with technology, which is not happening today, it is always an overlay, we will come to grief. And therefore, cyber specialists of a particular kind will be required, who will have to have knowledge of networks and vice versa. Legal aspects. The legal aspects which will be brought in by 5G will be quite different from the legal aspects we are facing today. As an example, I'll tell you, the democratization of data, which legally is supposed to be done, cannot be done by 5G. If we do it with 5G, then we are losing out the advantages of 5G. You are giving, by network slicing and edge computing, you are giving a differentiated field, a differentiated network to the subscriber, which negates against data democratization. So these are some of the legal challenges which will be faced and which will have to be seen by experts who are not only experts in legal field, but also in cyber, also in technology. Same thing will apply to regulatory and policy. The government policies and regulations generally are difficult to change, and they follow legacy. They always follow precedents. Fortunately, the current hierarchy in DOT is well versed in technology, and their policies are getting dictated by what is current. but they also will have to go as per the red tapeism which is available in government, and always finance has a sword hanging on the head. So therefore, this is another thing which will require formal training. We don't have anybody who's trained in policies or regulatory in the industry. Maybe we should. And another aspect is post-event, which is forensics. Forensics in 5G era will be very different from the forensics which are being done. Today, business forensics, criminal forensics, technical forensics are divorced from each other, more or less. Going forward, this will not happen. They will get merged, and we will have to find solutions, and we will have to find experts who can handle this. I think I have run out of time, but I will only say in conclusion that there are serious opportunities with the advent of 5G for India, as well as serious challenges. And we have to sit down and see both, and thereafter take a plunge into this. But the future is exciting. Thank you very much.
We would request Mr. Arnob Basu to please join us on the stage. And we have online Ms. Pramila Kalivej, Chief Operating Officer, Zensa Technologies Limited. She is joining us from Pune, and she will be addressing on building a sustainable and resilient business, Zensa's focus on diversity, inclusion, and ESG. So looking forward to hearing from Pramila.
Thank you very much. Am I audible and visible?
Yes, Pramila, you are.
Yes, thank you. Sorry, this is my first phygital participation in event, so it's very strange for me to be here in front of my screen, at the same time look at a room full of professionals there. So let me start with first thanking the Bengal Chamber of Commerce and Industry on behalf of RPG Enterprises, Zensa Technologies, and the entire leadership team for this opportunity here to participate in the Business IT Conclave 2022. I apologize that I'm not able to be there in person with all of you out there. My only consolation being, I think I've avoided one flight from Pune to Kolkata and back, and did my little bit in contributing to keeping the carbon footprint down. I was just computing what would be the carbon footprint contribution for travel, and I was amazed to see that, I would have spent about 0.6 tons of carbon dioxide, emission by making this trip. I would have wanted to be there. I could not travel. In fact, as we set out over the next 2 days to talk about, business and growth and future of technology, I believe that we should lift the conversation and start with talking about the future of a place that we call our own, a place that we believe that we really own, which is the planet Earth. So the future of planet Earth is extremely important to put in context as we begin to talk about future of the business and technology. So for my session today, I thought I will talk about how do we, all of us as professionals, as businesses working in the technology sector, how can we contribute towards building a sustainable future through our own enterprises, through the decisions that we make. So that's the topic of my session. Can I request the team to please beam up the few slides that I have put together for this? Yeah. So again, sustainability is something that we are all discussing. You will hear about this in several conversations. Many companies are talking about it as part of their own strategy, as part of their own priorities. And today I want to talk about what's the responsibility that we all have as decision makers, as leaders of nations, countries, and businesses towards sustainable development. Can we just move the screen, please? To the next slide. Yeah, the sustainable development really is about, as we go about making our decisions and our strategies, looking at it through the lens of sustainability, looking at it through the lens of making sure that we realize that this particular planet that we all live on and thrive on is not unlimited in terms of its own resources, is not unlimited in terms of how much growth and development it can support. And as we go about growing our businesses, being responsible being accountable to making sure that the planet we've come into and we leave behind is the same. So the future generations are also able to thrive and grow and live within the resources that we have. So that's the concept of sustainability, and it applies. It doesn't matter which business we are, how big we are, how small we are, what roles we all play, or what decisions we make. This is a very important lens for all of us to look at. And can we just move the slide, please? And this is again going back to why is it becoming so important for us in terms of looking at what sustainability really is, and why is ESG, which stands for environment, social, and governance, why is it such an important topic as countries talk about it, as businesses talk about it? It's because we've all realized that, like I said, there is a whole limited amount of natural resources on the earth. And as we consume them, we are disturbing the natural habitat. We are creating new threats to climate, and we are all experiencing it. I'm dialing in from the city of Pune. 2 days back, I was in the city of Hyderabad. Both these cities have not seen sunrise for the last 8 days straight in a row. Exactly same day last week, I was in Ladakh and enjoying the beautiful, the nature out there. And as I was driving through various pockets of Ladakh, from Leh to Pangong to Nubra to Shamwali, while I was really mesmerized by what nature has out there, a part of me was also very sad to see the fact that we opened up Ladakh to tourists and the mountains have been blasted to make roads for us. And now there are plans to expand the roads, to make them two-way roads so that the roads can take more traffic. So in all of these areas, while we are looking at enjoying the beauty of nature, we are really disturbing the ecosystem there. And I believe, all of that will come to impact us and will play its own role in the whole climate change that we're experiencing. So countries have become very cognizant of this. And you will see that it's become corporate India, and the IT sector is a big part of corporate India, has become very conscious, is aware that ESG is something that we can't wish away, just say, okay, it's for the future generations to take care of. It's becoming a part of a lot of the, like I said, the strategic priorities, the decision making. And I'm talking to many of my clients globally, and many of them have begun to tell us that that's going to be, sustainability is going to be a lens through which they are going to look at, evaluating their partners, evaluating their suppliers and vendors. It's going to be as important as, capability and commercials are going to be in choosing their vendors, partners. And you're also seeing a whole slew of small startups coming up with very interesting, boutique startups, interesting tools and practices and ways to really contribute to the whole ESG goals. So this is becoming important. It's coming at the core of all decisions that we take and all strategic discussions that we have. Many of you would have heard about the Paris Agreement of 2015, extremely important. Today we have about 195 countries, India included, which are part of this. This is all nations coming together to see how do they contain the whole, global greenhouse gas emissions and control the temperature increase that we're seeing across the globe. Out of all the initiatives that are there in the world, the largest and the most comprehensive one is what the UN Global Compact, UNGC as it is known, is really driving. It is actually a call to all nations and companies to come together and look at sustainability in a very comprehensive way. So the UN Global Compact has announced 17, what they call as SDG. Can we just move to the next slide, please? Yeah, so there are 17 goals that the UN GC has announced. And if you look at these goals, they are across every aspect of life and business, from looking at reducing poverty and hunger to health, sanitation, education, gender equality, building an inclusive future, economic growth, infrastructure, building sustainable smart cities and communities, responsible consumption of resources, climate change, water management, peace and justice. So all of these, every aspect of life that applies to each one of us in the room here have been covered under these 17 goals. So as companies are working towards it, we are all trying to see which of these goals are relevant for each of us based on the business we are in, the nature of what we do, who do we service, which of these goals are something that impact us, and also that we are responsible for really managing and contributing towards. Can I request for the next slide, please? Yeah, thank you. So if you look at this slide, this talks about, again, coming to closer to the context for this event today is, as tech companies, as leaders in tech companies, what are tech companies thinking, world over? Now, again, you will see increasingly majority of leaders in all the CXO roles across the companies truly believe that we need more regulation, we need more standards, because sustainability is a very, very broad topic, very difficult to understand, interpret, and try and see how do you link what we do to sustainability. So increasingly leaders believe that there has to be more easy frameworks that we can look at and adopt and measure sustainability. All of them, many of the leaders are standing up and saying personally they're committing their time, their energy and effort to contribute their own bit to ESG, and also align to their customers who are driving ESG as an important charter. And many of them agree that it is not something that, like I said, mentioned, you can wish away. It really defines how resilient can our businesses be. And if the last 2 years have taught us one thing, they have taught us that we cannot take the future for granted. The pandemic surprised everybody. It left no nation behind, no business behind, and no industry behind. It's taught all of us that the future can be very different from what we have prepared ourselves in all these decades. So that ability to build a resilient future is extremely important. And all of them also believe that growth of a country, growth of a business and enterprise is no longer just going to be what shareholder wealth we create or what market cap we create. It's really sustainable and resilient success is what really will separate the successful businesses from the not so successful ones. Now, while there is a lot of conversation happening, companies are talking about it, is there real work being done in the space of ESG, that is environment, social and governance? Yes, but it could be much more, but it is not insignificant. Many companies have begun to report their ESG and sustainability goals in their annual reports. Many of them have adopted the whole integrated reporting, sustainable business reporting. They have taken goals, they have published them. And you see many Indian businesses, not just IT, do that. And many of them have started applying that in their own decision making to look at, whether you choose a technology, you choose, a city to expand your business into, you choose companies you want to buy and sell. The lens of sustainability is something that companies are increasingly applying. And several, of course, also believe that, it's working for them. Several others believe that they need some experts and they need some help. I just want to share today with all of you here, what are we doing at Zensar? For the RPG enterprises in Zensar, ESG is extremely, extremely important. And well, the last 2 to 3 years, we've been doing work in a more informal way. We have now formally actually structured that as a very dedicated focus area for us. It is something that is driven by the board committee itself that really works with us to establish and track our goals. We have set goals short, medium, long term, all the way to 2040, whereas when we believe, our goal is to get net zero by 2040. We've also taken have a very senior leader. She is a chief sustainability officer for Zensar, and she is driving this as a single point agenda. And since we are dabbling in a space that we are not familiar with, we haven't done a lot of work, and we believe best is to learn from the peers, learn from the industry and other companies which have already embarked on this journey. We are working with one of the top 5 consulting firms in India to advise us in putting our ESG charter and goals together. At the RPG Enterprises level, we have a Center of Excellence group where all the group companies, all the ESG charters of the group companies and the core teams are together learning, because we believe in a space like this where the whole world is trying to figure out what to do. The fastest and the most effective way to learn is to learn together and learn from each other. So peer learning is what the Center of Excellence drives this. And we've also adapted already the integrated annual reports. All our shareholders and stakeholders can look at it, where we are clearly stating what our sustainability goals are, what our initiatives are, and what are we committing to our shareholders. Can we just go to the next slide, please? Thank you. A little more about what we are doing here. If you look at what we have done is ESG is environment, social governance, 3 elements of the ESG charter. We have taken all the 17 goals of the UN Global Compact and we have mapped them. For example, in the space of environment, we are aligned to 4 of the 17 goals. Here we're focusing on energy, waste, water management, certifying all our campuses to be green buildings, certifying in terms of all the environmental standards. And most importantly, looking at this, every time we make a decision on our infrastructure, we make a decision on which city should we go next. Do we need to build these huge campuses? Do we need to be reducing these permanent campuses? Do we need to go to small satellite centers? So every decision, there's an ESG lens that we first apply and ask, do we need this? Is this the right way to do this? The second big dimension of ESG is social. Again, here we map to 8 of the UNGC SDG goals. And these are across, and we've been a signatory member of UNGC for several years now. And everything in terms of women, their wealth and, their health and wellness, looking at how can we provide a very conducive environment for women, the pregnancy programs, also women who come back post-pregnancy, giving women an inclusive environment to work and be the best version of themselves. And several other initiatives around this space, whether it is POSH and ICC, these all have been in place for a long time now. But Zensar is now very actively working on really promoting the whole, being an ally of the LGBTQ group program, encouraging that. We're doing a lot with veterans. So in every space, we're trying to see socially, how do we contribute towards building a very inclusive and diverse workforce in Zensar. And governance always has been, a focus area for the RPG group itself in terms of code of corporate governance and ethics. In addition to that, we have a very strong ERM and enterprise risk management group. Again, we have a chief risk officer reporting directly into the board. And like I mentioned, we've already adopted integrated annual reporting. Now, these are various areas. So the reason I'm sharing this is it's become core to how we run our business, core to how we engage with our shareholders, with our customers. And this has just changed the way we look at the world at large. Can I just go to the next slide, please? Thank you. Here in this slide is, I think, briefly just talking about the partnerships. We believe that in such an important mission like this, we should get all the help that we can. We should look at the ecosystem. We should look at the other systems that we can really tap into and draw energy and experience from. We partner very closely with the UN Women, which is the UN Organization for Women Development. We partner with McKinsey, participate in their workplace studies to see how do you build more resilient, inclusive workplaces. And several other areas. All of these areas, we are learning from peers. We're learning from other companies that are doing it. Just a couple of months back, we've also got the Jamlalal Bajaj Award for Fair Business Practices. Now, these are all just, to me, participation in some of these forums is important because we learn. Every time we participate, we learn the best practices, we try and take them in. So this is, I thought it will be very appropriate for us. Can we just go to the last slide, please? Yeah, very appropriate for us to have this conversation as over the next 2 days, we set out to discuss what's the future of technology, what are the new technologies that will shape us. I would urge all of us in the event today to please look at sustainability, to please look at, are we contributing to building a more resilient future as we make all those decisions on choice of, there are green technologies, there are green solutions, choices on infrastructure, choice on people and, HR practices. Every single choice of ours has a role to play in building a sustainable future. So that's what I really wanted to leave behind for all the participants today. And like I said here, the biggest concern is we believe that somebody else is going to come after us and save the planet. So that's us here, right here. And as a Zensarian and as part of the RPG Enterprises group, we would be delighted to learn from all the others here. So we are all available. I would be glad to reach out, connect with any other group company here today, which is doing some work in this. You found some successes, you've learned some things. We'll be glad to learn from you and also glad to contribute to the community on this initiative. So I guess with that, I would want to thank all of you once again for this opportunity to speak.
Thank you, Pramila, for sharing the perspective of building a resilient business from the perspective of a tech company. To set the context, the Bengal Chamber is extremely passionate about sustainability, environment, and energy-related aspects. In fact, we were probably the only Chamber of Commerce who were in COP26, that is the climate change conference of the United Nations in November in Glasgow. So there was a delegation from the Chamber, and the Honorable Transport Minister from the Bengal Chamber joined the program digitally. So sustainability is always a focus area for varied activities of the Bengal Chamber. So with this, we will move on, and we are happy to share with you that we have a veteran here in this room. His group has contributed significantly in facilitating ecosystem in terms of infrastructure for IT or tech businesses in Kolkata. So with this, I would request Mr. Ravindra Chamaria, Chairman of Infinity Group, to please come and join us at the stage. The Bengal Chamber of Commerce and Industry is delighted to present a recognition plaque to his organization in facilitating IT infrastructure in Kolkata. Mr. Chamaria, may we request you to... Okay. To please join us on the stage. I think Shankulpita is calling him. Yeah. Amen. As Mr. Chamaria has stepped out, Mr. Chamaria, may we request you to please join us on the stage. We would request Mr. Arnab Basu, Vice President and the Chairperson IT Committee of the Bengal Chamber, to please present a plaque of recognition from the Bengal Chamber to Infinity Group for its contribution to creating IT infrastructure in Kolkata. And may we request Mr. Chiranjeev Bhattacharya to present a token of our appreciation, few other mementos to Mr. Chamaria. Mr. Chamaria, we would request you come again on the stage. Sir, Mr. Chamaria, sir, would you like to say a few words?
dignitaries, dignitaries on the dais, ladies and gentlemen present here, as well as joining us on online. First of all, I am humbled and thankful to BCCI for this recognition. Infinity started its journey in the year 1996. At that time, there was hardly any IT infrastructure in West Bengal. It was the first building which we, at that time, the then CM Jyoti Basu inaugurated in the year 2000. At that time, it was a first fully wired building. We had a 32 Mbps line, and we used to proudly say that this building has broadband of 32 Mbps. We had our own dedicated telephone exchange, because at that time the telephone used to take 3, 4, 5 years waiting. So we did our best at that time. My partner, Mr. Vikram Das Gupta, and myself started that company. I was behind him, he was the leader, but afterwards, he came out of the company. He still has some share. And the journey began, and from there, in 2022, we have now around 6 million square feet of IT infrastructure in Sector 5. We have all kind of facilities. You may call it plug and play, you may call it serviced office, you may call it furnished office, where sell, everything. And we try to meet whatever is the requirement, and we look at the future, what will be required by the IT companies. In last 20 years, we have lost, 2 times the positioning of Calcutta as IT hub. First, of course, when Bangalore started and did very well. And the second time, Pune and other places came out, including Hyderabad. But I wanted to share with you that there is another chance now coming up. Calcutta is getting into the radars of most of the IT companies. And one of the reason is this COVID. Because of the COVID, lot of IT professionals who is working in Hyderabad, Bangalore, Pune, from West Bengal, many of them has come back to Calcutta and they want to live here in West Bengal. Last couple of months, we have been able to rent out around 500,000 square feet of office, which is quite large looking at Calcutta's positioning. It is not large looking at other places, but as Calcutta, I think last 1 year, around 1 million square feet new space has gone. Infinity alone has given around 500,000. Why I am talking to you all these things is that there is now chance, new companies like Mindtree, by Chenshar, like L&T Infotech, like AML, like IFB, so many companies I give you name, who are first time coming to Calcutta, and the main attraction for them is the cost as well as the manpower. Many of them I've talked to, they say that the attrition rate in their company is 30%, 25%, 35%, but at Calcutta, they are looking at around 12%. So the idea is that this is the right time for us to catch up. If we go and talk about the Calcutta infrastructure, Calcutta ecosystem, Calcutta manpower, many new companies are looking forward to come here. Many of them who has taken space already started talking of expanding because they get a very good response for the manpower. So if we all, and including BCCI, try and market Calcutta once again, maybe we have a much better chance than what we have lost in the past. Thank you very much.
We would now request Mr. Chiranjeev Bhattacharya, co-chairperson of IT Committee of the Bengal Chamber, to please deliver the formal vote of thanks.
Thank you, Angana. It gives me great pleasure to deliver the formal vote of thanks. The Bengal Chamber has been presenting Business IT Conclave over the years with the objective of sharing the trends of cutting-edge technologies in the global arena. Going beyond that, the idea is to create a vibrant forum where the tech fraternity may come together, both from within and outside Calcutta. We believe that our initiative also contributes towards showcasing the city as a preferred technology destination through our engagements with the government, technology industry, user industries, and also academia, startups, and other interested players. Our heartfelt thanks to the audience present at the venue in the Bengal Chamber and digitally for being our greatest strengths. I must thank the speakers who have carved out time from their very busy schedules. And we couldn't have mounted this program at this scale without the support of our sponsors. Our gold sponsors being Mindtree, silver sponsors, MB Software Private Limited, PricewaterhouseCoopers Private Limited, session sponsor, Zensa Technologies, bronze sponsors, Sifi Technologies Limited, Infinity Infotech Parks Limited, Information Technology and Electronics Department, Government of West Bengal, RPSG Ventures, Tata Communications Limited, associate sponsors, JIS Group, STPI West Bengal, Tenable, Defendier, Sundew Solutions Private Limited, networking partner Carlsberg, social media partner Seven Boats Infosystems Private Limited. Our friends from the media, we do believe we will have with us as always for reaching out far and wide. We take this opportunity to express our gratitude and request all of you to join us with a round of applause for our audience, speakers, sponsors, friends from media, and all those who have been with us in this endeavor. Thank you so much.
We would now request Mr. Arnab Basu to please present a token of our appreciation, Lieutenant General Dr. S.P. Kochar, Director General, Cellular Operators Association of India. A few words about our memento. We are presenting honey. Interestingly, this is produced by, in a bee corridor, AI-enabled bee corridor. You will learn about our Tech Incubation Center, which Mr. Radhakrishnan also mentioned in the beginning. So this is a startup which set up an AI-enabled bee corridor in the Eco Park at Newtown area. And that bee corridor has now started producing organic honey. So this honey is being presented as mementos and tokens of your appreciation to our speakers today. A plant is also being presented. These are indoor oxygen-giving plants in eco-friendly smart planters. It has been presented to us by Karmyog Plant Library. You will see at the venue the library, portions of the library. The plant library is an IoT-based communication platform which integrates nature and learning, and it is powered by a technology developed by Karmyog, which is AI-powered multimedia badge that includes combination of graphics and text. So all of it is recognized by a camera on your smartphone, which helps you to reach to an Omnidel app to fetch exact information or answer from the Curiosity database in the cloud. So it's basically an interactive planter in which these plants are being presented. And our networking partner, Carlsberg, is presenting glasses. So we would request Mr. Basu to please present these mementos to our distinguished guest, Lieutenant General Dr. S.P. Kochar. Thank you. So we are closing the opening session here. So we have with us Ms. Maya Bridgman. She is the founder of Dubai AI Society, and she is joining us from Dubai. And we have been, as in Bengal Chamber and Dubai AI Society, are in talks on possible collaborations that Maya will share with you. Maya, may we have you on screen? Over to Maya.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, distinguished speakers and attendees. My name is Maya Bridgman. I'm a 17-year-old student studying in Dubai.
Maya, you are not audible.
My apologies.
Yeah, no, you are now fine.
I am? Okay, thank you. Thank you again. Good afternoon, distinguished speakers and attendees. My name is Maya Bridgman, and I am a 17-year-old student studying in Dubai, founder of the Dubai AI Society, and a proud Bengali. Thank you for inviting me to speak today at the 2022 Business IT Conclave. I wish I could be with you in person, but I'm delighted to be joining you today from California. We are at a crossroads where technology is evolving at an exponential pace, and the global educational system simply cannot keep up. This is exacerbated by the digital divide, where certain classes and sectors of society are facing severe inequity due to an inability to access technology, internet, and digital skills education, as you are all aware. My passion and commitment is to eradicate this digital divide by providing all students, regardless of their age, location, race, class, and skill level, with necessary resources and introductions to artificial intelligence to prepare them for the workforce in which ML and AI and computational thinking are and will continue to be highly coveted skills. As artificial intelligence is becoming ever more present in our daily lives, from being involved in voice recognition to predicting stock prices, the global AI market value is expected to reach $267 billion just 5 years from now in 2027. Thus, we are seeing the technical evolution of all professions and how AI is being integrated into existing jobs, from marine biologists to astronomers, and creating new jobs as well. However, there is a major discrepancy in who can access professions in the AI industry, with engineers from limited gender, racial, and cultural backgrounds. There is a digital divide between those who are brought up with tech backgrounds in privileged areas and those who without access to paid programs and such information. But some may ask if it's really necessary to have all sectors access this education. Why not leave the educational system as it is? Well, the answer to this question lies in the manifestation of algorithmic bias. A lack of diversity in AI due to this digital divide permeates solutions through algorithmic bias due to the biased data sets which the machine learning models are trained on, cascading into affecting the efficacy of necessary AI technologies. This will have a negative long-term impact and must be mitigated, as it prevents innovation by limiting the user needs that are catered to by the AI programs. Students of all backgrounds can access higher wages and better their futures through pursuing technological AI fields or simply applying computational thinking to existing professions. But the majority of students lack the technical knowledge to do so and have no way to break into this area. Students are very rarely exposed to machine learning without a computer science background, especially in secondary school or high school. Documentation online is typically only understandable to those with existing experience or degrees, and the majority of AI courses online are paid programs, which leaves so many students behind, and it also leaves their potential passions undiscovered. Many students will not even consider a tech job or artificial intelligence as a profession because the sound of it is daunting. They never tap their potential, and they never have the chance to build their confidence in this industry. I founded the Dubai AI Society to facilitate just this. I founded the Dubai AI Society to create an engaging and collaborative community of youth who are expanding their personal knowledge of AI. Noticing the digital divide within my community, I have developed a novel activity-driven curriculum which teaches youth essential AI, ML, and computational topics, and also career information in an accessible manner. This curriculum is entirely free and accessible even to those in areas without stable internet access. And I'm glad to say that the Dubai AI Society has now grown to over 800 members worldwide in the past 9 months through our online Discord server community, ambassadors running programs across 3 continents, and collaborations with NGOs. We are now able to expand the curriculum to students with less educational support in more remote areas. Recently, we collaborated with the Baghdad Business School and Iraqi Children's Foundation to create a bespoke program provided to both graduate students and young women in Mosul who have suffered from trafficking and abuse, translating the AI curriculum into the local dialect and adapting the delivery and structure of the content to best suit the students. We are also collaborating with the Ministry of AI of the United Arab Emirates government to provide opportunities to students in the UAE. And thus far, these initiatives have had a great positive impact on these students and inspired several of them to pursue AI in higher education or professionally, when they never would have considered it previously. As evidenced by the distinguished speakers on today's program, India, specifically Bengal, is a technological force to be reckoned with, and this will only be furthered by providing such opportunities. So whether it is the empowering students at the St. Xavier's in Kolkata or young girls in Kharagpur, I respectfully call on you to collaborate with me to prepare students for a brighter future and support the intellectual prowess of India. I firmly believe that the AI and ML education is an essential and overlooked skill that can advance students to secure incredible future successes, and that it is our duty to ensure as many students as possible gain access to this learning. So I turn to you for your support and look forward to continuing discussions. Please contact me at mayaandbridgman@gmail.com for further information. As John Dewey states, if we teach our children today as we taught yesterday, we are robbing them of their tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Maya. So Bengal Chamber and Dubai AI Society, what we are doing, they have been connected with us by one of our senior members. So, and we in turn are connecting them with our members who work with underprivileged students, and jointly we are trying to promote AI training among underprivileged students. And as Maya mentioned, it would be free of cost. So we will close this session with a brief video by one of our sponsors.
As India emerges from the enduring impacts of the pandemic, organizations need to change faster than ever before to address the profound challenges that they face and also make most of the tremendous opportunities that lie ahead of them.
PwC, as a community of solvers, is uniquely positioned to bring the right combination of people, capabilities, and technology. That's what we are calling the new equation.
The new equation focuses on two interconnected needs that clients face today. The need to build trust with a broader set of stakeholders and also to deliver sustained outcomes.
To enable our clients to meet these challenges over the next 5 years, we will double down on our investments in some of the key growth areas.
Our people are at the core of our success. We will continue to spend a minimum of 1% of our revenue in upskilling our people and our partners. At the same time, we also have tremendous focus on onboarding fresh talent. We will be increasing our campus hiring by 5 times in the next 5 years. We also expect to add over 2,000 jobs every year. And most importantly, we commit to ensuring a minimum of 40% diversity across our teams.
We are going to set up the PwC Research Institute, which will identify and analyze the emerging trends across sectors. We will further invest in emerging technologies, digital and cloud, artificial intelligence and analytics, cyber and managed services, and work closely with our ecosystems and alliances to offer value-added as well as differentiated services to all our clients.
I'm excited about the difference we will make to businesses around the world and in India. It all adds up to the new equation.